So we were just talking about Wicked and like who in the Bravo universe people would be.
Mm-hmm.
I think, okay, so like my alphabet of Bravo, I think it would honestly be Kim Richards from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. That's Kyle's sister, because she has this great "It's me" moment.
What's her "It's me" moment?
She's like screaming at her sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I think Kyle's Nessa Rose.
Kyle's Nessa Rose. Okay.
I think most people would cast it opposite. They would do Kim as Nessa and Kyle. Yeah. The wizard is obviously Andy.
Oh, yeah. Damn, I didn't even think about that. I hadn't even thought about the wizard when you asked me the question. I was just thinking of Elphaba and Glinda.
Who's your Glinda?
I'm going off of our episodes, actually.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe not entirely, partially.
Okay.
My alphabet would either be Ayan or Ubah.
Yes.
Yeah, don't you think?
Yes.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Ubah is definitely.
Give me that.
And in that case, I would say Brynn might be Glinda in a little way because they were friends and then she turned her back on her.
I was about to go to another episode for my Glinda. But
who's your Glinda?
You're Brynn.
Yeah.
Right, Brynn? Yeah. I could see that as well. We have our roster sheet.
Yeah.
She's on the roster sheet.
Yeah.
I would say, I forget her name now, but from Southern Hospitality, the one who was getting incredibly overwhelmed. Emmy. Wouldn't you say, you know?
Yeah.
Like she thinks that, well, maybe not, it's not a perfect one-to-one thing, but like, I don't know. That was the first person that came to mind.
No, I could see it. And it's very appearance-based, which is Glinda as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hi, Hotties.
Hello.
And Thotties and friends and family and people who don't know us, our online friends, which...
Beautiful, beautiful people.
Hi. My name's Carson Frey. I'm the host of The Real Houseguest of North Hollywood. Today, we have our producer as co-host.
One of these days, I'm going to be like, and hi, I'm the producer of The Real Houseguest of North Hollywood. Or not. It's kind of nice being introduced as well. I've got to say that.
Yeah, I like introducing you.
If you want me to introduce you, let me know too.
I would.
You're like, no.
No, I said I would like you to introduce me.
Oh, I thought you meant like, okay.
No, I would. Like when I was a kid, so in our living room, there were these like 2 stairs and these doors that opened, so that was obviously my stage,
right,
because then it would lead into our family room, and that's where my audience was.
Okay.
And so I would shut the doors and we had a dimmer on the light and I would tell my dad to say like, ladies and gentlemen.
He's got an amazing announcer voice.
Please take your seats. Like the performance is about to begin. Here comes Carson Frey. And I would open the doors. I would normally have like a feather boa on, something sparkly, and I would do like sing, dance, perform madness,
get all your tips.
Yeah. My mom loves to tell the story that one time I was like, hey, when are Grammy and Papa leaving? And she was like, why? Like, I thought you were doing a show. And I was like, I am, but I have another one that it's a little bit more adult.
I've got a schedule, Mom,
and
that I've got to keep.
I was like, I can't, wear nothing in the feather boa around grandma.
What do you think of me?
Because I'm like 3.
Right,
3,
no,
4,
I mean, yeah.
Little. But yeah, so we're here talking about Bravo. Today we're going to cover RHONY and Southern Hospitality.
Drama abounds.
It was so hard this week deciding what to cover because there's so much good content.
Which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, like everything is killing it. Housewives on fire. The Salt Lake City reunion. I think I'm going to do one episode that's on all 3 parts. Because the first part, which is normally so boring to me, I normally hate the first part of reunions. The first part, I was like... like jaw on the ground, like so good.
It was pretty fucking intense. I didn't expect this to be so I don't know, electric,
Yeah, it was an electric week in Bravo.
Scary.
And I know it's not really Bravo, but Traitors, so good this week.
Dude, some of these people's
Robin,
choices.
our girl, I know the Traitors are so terrible.
Not all of them, but it's just like I feel like they're letting their anxiety rule them, rule their decision making.
Well, the women are, and then Boston Rob is just like ruthless.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't give a fuck, but he's kind of like the best one.
He's done it 1,000 times. So I'm surprised more people don't suspect him, that he's getting by.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's really being aware of when to speak and when not to speak too, because he's only like, it seems like, at least from the last episode, speaking only when he has to. Like only responding. He's never like, and also I think.
Well, you missed the episode before.
Well, with Bob, I know, but I just mean this episode. He's like, oh, he's real fucking quiet right now.
No, that's true. I was sad to see Robin go. Our Bravo people are getting like cut down because they sent home Dorinda first, which I was so mad about. I love Dorinda from Old RHONY. Dorinda,
heartbreak.
And she would have killed as a traitor.
Yeah.
We lost Chanel Ayan.
Yeah.
Love her. She should have been there later. And Robin.
Dude.
They hate Bravo.
It's just sad.
And like, I love Sierra, but I don't love how she's playing right now.
I think she's just acting out of anxiety. All these choices just seem like I'm afraid and I'm just trying to do something.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't make sense to everybody. I made a choice, And Sandoval's
so stupid, so no one thinks he's a traitor.
He's still alive. It's kind of amazing.
Because he's not a threat. Yeah, I would love to see Dolores get recruited. I love, I'm a Dolores stan.
I think she would have done a whole lot better than the other folks who, before Bob, not Bob, but before, I get Bob and Rob mixed up in my head.
Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Boston Rob.
Oh, Boston Rob. Yeah.
And then Bob the drag queen.
Yeah. Bob and Rob. Bob and Rob.
Bob and Rob. This week on Traitors, Bob gets killed by Rob.
But yeah, let's talk about RHONY. So it was a finale, and what a finale it was. I don't feel bad because for most of the season I was like, this sucks, this isn't good, this is dragging, it's like not doing it.
Right.
I feel bad. I was just yelling at Ducky because she's clearly looking for her water.
She's like, I'm just thirsty, man. God damn.
Bad cat mom.
I know I try to destroy everything I look at, but I was just thirsty this time.
But yeah, what a finale it was, though, for RHONY. It truly was explosive, dramatic.
The fucking CCTV footage moments, or it looks like that at least. It's just like kind of funny.
So the name of the episode is Paradise Lost. It's season 15, episode 15, which feels a little the 15-15,
I know, right?
Ooh.
It feels ominous.
And so it opens with like Aaron, Cy, and Brynn and Jessel fighting about some shit that after watching the whole episode, you're like, this doesn't matter. Because it happened the day before what they're fighting about. But really the core of the issue is Pavitt, who's Jessel's husband, called Cy a bipolar bitch last season.
Wild choice of words, my man.
He should have said, if you're going to say anything, she's always hungry, because she was always hungry last season.
Right.
She's annoying when she's hungry, but bipolar bitch when she cared for her bipolar mother who just died.
Does he have a thing for alliteration or something? Like what is right?
I could see it with him.
But like, bro, with what you know.
But they make up, and then everyone kind of starts drinking and hanging out, and from what it looks like to us, like the night's kind of like starting to wrap up. And then they're all kind of talking about the Ubah and Brynn thing, and Aaron's like, look, everyone just needs to stop calling Brynn a whore. Not a bad point.
Not a crazy, like, checkpoint to reach.
And then Jessel calls in Ubah. You and I both clocked this. She goes, come in here, my Nubian queen. Yeah,
I was like, maybe it's just.
Can she say that?
Can she? Yeah, I don't know.
Snow White.
I don't know. Maybe it's like a cutesy thing between them, and she's just gotten used to being.
I would never call you my
Nubian king. I'm like, what?
You'd be like, this feels like a weird fetish.
Yeah, unless it's like, what's it called? An intentional kind of like you're trying to say the wrong thing, and we both acknowledge it's the wrong thing, and that's why it's funny, as opposed to saying it because I'm really thinking that.
Yeah. But so Jessel calls in Ubah, and Cy's like, Ubah, You gotta stop calling everyone a whore, you know? Hello, duck. I just yelled at you, so I'm trying not to.
She's just like, there's nothing for me to topple over. What should I topple over? Maybe I can jump in front of my sister and have her punch me in the face. That'll be a nice way to start the morning.
Do you want to come here, duck?
She's like, I don't know what I want. Leave me alone.
Okay.
Just let her be.
Just let her be. But yeah, so Jessel calls in Ubah, or Sai tells after Jessel calls her in, Sai's like, Ubah, you can't, keep calling Brynn a whore.
Yeah.
And then Brynn and Ubah just start arguing about the semantics of whether Brynn said she sucked dick to get on the job or slept with someone, which
according to the edit, she didn't say that. Wow, I'm surprised Sugar didn't try to kill Ducky right now.
I know, that was kind of
jumping over her on the couch.
You gotta leave that in because people who know them are like,
they're getting along.
They're sisters.
Which would be something that would never happen between Brynn and Ubah now.
They are kind of like cats.
A little bit.
Ubah needs to stop with the pigeon thing. She needs to be like, kitty cat.
Oh, does she say kitty cat? Oh,
no, she goes, you all are pigeons, because they're like,
oh,
gossiping.
the pigeons. I remember the pigeons.
Yeah.
I thought that was brilliant. I need to get that as a shirt. Make that into a shirt. I will buy that.
Ubah. Also, I want to buy Ubah's hot sauce.
Yes, Ubah's hot sauce. Buy Ubah's hot sauce. And Ubah, make that pigeon shirt, unless it's already made and I just don't know about it.
But yeah, they're arguing about the semantics of it. And I was watching with a group of girls and they were like, this is so annoying. And I was just like, low key, I understand it, because Ezra and I argue about this kind of stuff all the time.
I think it's a real issue. We don't have a way besides recording ourselves 24/7, being on a show where that happens, to be like, no, I didn't say that. Not that it should matter all that much, but sometimes it does, because people base their entire argument around a thing that didn't happen the way that they remember it happening, And
you and Ubah are both from East Africa, and I think there is something...
They're both Nubians, is that what you're...
But I think there's something to the semantics argument when me and Brynn are both hard-headed Aquariuses from Indiana, and, you guys are both East African, and I think for, you and Ubah, because the way your point of view is kind of similar in the argument, as how you are typically when you and I are arguing.
Yeah.
And I think there's something about when English is your second language, you really want to make sure the words you said were understood.
Yeah. And they were in the right order, remembered in the right order.
Yeah.
Who said what,
Yeah. And I don't know if that's having English as your second language or even more of a cultural component. I don't know.
It could be a perfectionist thing or a trauma response thing, where it's you don't want to be wrong, because if you're wrong, you're in trouble or you're going to be punished, or I don't know.
And I think Brynn's focusing, and I'm kind of guilty of this sometimes, on the emotion of how it made you feel or what was heard, and which I'm not saying is right, but I'm just saying I'm look, Brynn and I are literally from the same place.
Yeah.
And we're both Aquarius.
I think people get, fixated on not fixated maybe, because I do it on tone too,
Yeah.
It's not even what you said and when you said it, it's how you said it.
Yeah.
But I think they were more focused on just who said what.
Yeah. And what was said was, so the day before, Ubah, this is what they flash back to in the edit. Ubah said, maybe you slept with someone to get on the show. And then the next day, Brynn was like, what? Do you think I suck dick? Or something? And then Ubah was like, maybe
edit.
You do.
Yeah.
That was what was seen in the edit. And then, so they're arguing about semantics. And then Brynn kind of gets a scary look in her eye.
Yeah.
To me, at this point, she looks tired and probably she's been drinking all day. So it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
She starts going off saying, when did I do anything but work my ass off? Starts screaming, look at my LinkedIn, look at this. Was that light thunder?
That was our landlord.
Okay. Guys, it's finally raining in LA, but my landlord's also trying to fix the roofs.
I feel so sorry for him, because he and the room beside him that is, getting fixed up.
Yeah, it's empty.
Have no roof. I mean, that's empty, but it has no roof.
I know.
You could see like the holes through
It's so scary.
And he's such a hardworking guy, and he's trying to fix it.
Shout out to Florian.
You're the homie. You work so hard, and you're very nice.
Yeah.
I don't know what more to say. I'm sorry you don't have a roof right now. I hope you have buckets laying around or something.
Yeah. But Brynn is going off saying, what did I do anything but work my ass off? And then she calls Ubah a 6-foot toddler. Which is
mentioning
kind of
your LinkedIn and then calling someone a 6 foot taller in the same breath is just hilarious to me.
And she's like, "You're not Naomi. You're not Giselle. You model for Dress Barn." And then
low blow.
Yeah. And Brynn basically is upset because she's like, no one takes me seriously as like a woman of color. And like everyone tries to sexualize me, and just because I'm an attractive woman of color, they don't think I could be successful on my own. And all those points are fair and valid and real for Brynn, but there's something about her, like, she's a mixed race woman who can pass, and Ubah's like an African woman with an accent who's dark skinned, and she's kind of like making her out to be an angry black woman.
I think so. She is angry. She is a woman. She is black. But like when you make everything like an attack on you, and you don't really try to take any kind of ownership for anything you say, then that just kind of, I don't know, feels like a contortion of reality.
I just don't think you can like look at this episode and not pay attention to like certain colorism parts of it, I
mean, yes.
And they're like there's 3 black women in the cast, because Raquel's black and Puerto Rican, but they're between 2 of the black women in the cast of a historically very white show. So we can't not see that. Sai and Aaron try to calm Ubah down because Ubah's like like freaking the fuck out, and then Rebecca comes in to bring food, and Ezra, you guys thought she was an assistant because he's been in and out of RHONY like probably most of the viewers, and he was like, she an assistant? I was like, no, she's the Scientologist. He was like, oh yeah, I kind of remember.
I was just like, who is this person wearing all black with I think headphones around their neck, just asking people if they want food? An assistant. Who else would it be?
Just the timing was so funny.
It was pretty great, though. It was pretty great. Also, on that point, I guess there are more women of color on the episode, too, but like with different
Jessel, she's Indian.
With different backgrounds, obviously. Yeah. I don't know, they're like...
and Sai might identify as black as well.
But it is just, I don't know, clearly different for
Ubah. And I think there's something like, about the fact that she's a dark-skinned black woman. And I do think there's like this privilege that Brynn has, being able to go into this like Midwestern, like, hi, I'm Brynn, and Ubah like has an accent. She speaks multiple languages, like she's Muslim. And so there are things that
Brynn can kind of like weave in and out of different identities. I don't think Ubah can really... I know what that's like. You can't really... It's hard to do that,
Yeah. I mean, but in a way you can weave sometimes in ways your siblings can't because of your American accent.
Yeah. But that's like...
But that's
if someone can't like look at me, But she doesn't have that privilege.
But you're saying like when you appear to the world the same as Ubah, like you guys look African. It's clear like if someone has met someone from East Africa that's where y'all are from. And
people always ask me too, like, where are you from? With like, I can see behind their eyes or the way they're asking or like how long it's taken after we've had a conversation for them to ask that like they have an inclination or they have like, they know already and they're just waiting to like say their piece,
My favorite is when people ask if you speak Ethiopian.
I don't know how many times I've gotten that, but like I know I've gotten that.
A lot of people, including my family.
Oh, did they? I completely blocked that out of my head.
Yeah. Well, I just think like people don't know, and that's fine. And it's like we think the world is so small and everyone speaks English, Spanish.
You know what I should say to them when they ask me, do you speak Ethiopian? I'm like, no, I'm that's a misconception. I actually speak East African.
That's silly. But yeah.
Yeah.
Now we got to get to something dark too. So then Brynn tells, right before they eat, Brynn tells everyone she's a victim of sexual assault, and she tells everyone that Ubah knows this, implies that's why Ubah said that. Everyone is so brokenhearted for Brynn, but they're like confused on why Ubah would do that. But absolutely no one doubts that Brynn was raped. Like, that's not where the doubt is, whether or not she was raped or assaulted. It's like, why would Ubah do that and not clock that? Because it's so outside her character. Or
like knowingly do that, because the clocking thing came after she was like getting interrogated by the women. But before she was saying like she knew. And like she did this while she knew, was her argument, Brynn's argument about Ubah.
And then Ubah brings Brynn outside to talk to her. She attempts to apologize and Brynn just rejects it, and they start to argue about semantics again. At this point, Ubah doesn't know what was said.
I wish there was an editor there or a producer there to chime in, but then it might just ruin
it breaks
yeah, but it's like they only know after they look at the episode, like, oh shit, yeah, I did say that, she didn't say that.
I know. That's part of like the fucked up part of reality TV.
Yeah, it's like if someone just told them like the truth, they could get over it, and then they could be like, oh, okay, yeah, I accept your apology.
Yeah.
Move on.
But Brynn rejects her apology, and the women get ready for bed. Cameras go down, and that's when shit goes down.
It was like fucking Paranormal Activity, man.
Yeah, it was like the camera angles.
Yeah, but like everything going down.
Cam, and then like the women like retelling it, be like, it was so crazy.
Yeah.
So Jessel, it starts with Jessel. It kind of felt like grief.
Yeah.
Jessel goes to Ubah's room and tells her what Brynn told them about Ubah knowing she was raped. Ubah is brokenhearted, ball of emotions, sobbing, just like trying to figure out what happened.
Howling.
And this is what struck me into, like, I always believed Ubah, like pretty much this whole episode. But when Ubah said to Jenna and Raquel, "May Allah strike me down and kill my firstborn if I knew." Allah? Allah?
That I'm correcting your East African. I'm kidding.
Allah.
I'm kidding. Yeah.
And Brynn then tells the story. So like Ubah goes to Brynn. She's like, what? When did you say that?
Yeah.
Brynn tells the story, and everyone is in the hallway arguing. And like you see the producers like, this is dark. Ubah's like freaking out, throwing up. And then producers have to separate them.
Now they get involved. Maybe if they got involved a little earlier by just mentioning who said what, they could have avoided all this. But then maybe you wouldn't have given the opportunity to Brynn to continue to contort reality a little bit.
Yeah. So they separate them. Jessel goes with Ubah to the hotel, and then Brynn stays back with everyone. And everyone's just kind of like talking, like...
Yeah.
Trying to go to bed. They all look so tired.
Everyone's ready to just clock out. Like they haven't had a fun night.
No.
In any kind of way.
Brynn then starts telling the story again. And then she's like, maybe she didn't know. And then Sai just asked. She goes, did Ubah know? And Brynn goes, yeah, maybe Ubah didn't know.
Didn't clock it.
And
I'm like, if I told you... that something insane happened to me, I would be looking at your face, dude. Unless it wasn't, if it was on the phone or something, which is like, why would you say this over the phone?
So many women have been in the situation where your friend tells you something happened to them. Like, it's happened to me multiple times where my friends tell me this. It's a sad truth that someone who's in their 30s, I know, at least 5 girls who have been sexually assaulted. When your friend tells you that, you don't just say, okay, do you want to like go, like, you know, you say, so if like Ubah didn't say something, because it sounded like from the episode, she called her hysterical, like before BravoCon. Brynn called Ubah hysterical, crying, being like, my friend just attempted suicide. I was raped. This happened, that happened, this happened. And Ubah said, let me send you a car. Let me help you.
Yeah.
So if you're listing 10 things out on the phone, it just like I could.
Oh, that was on camera? We heard that happen? See that happen?
We didn't hear it happen on camera. That's how Brynn retold it.
So we don't have any material evidence to kind of corroborate that there was any kind of interaction?
No, because this was all off camera, and that's the problem with RHONY is so much happens off camera.
Okay. And that makes it harder to know who's telling the truth.
Well, and it's just like, stop producing off camera. That's like been Brynn's problem all season. Yeah. And that's why this happened, because of her continuously like off camera producing. If
anything, keep some kind of receipt, show a voicemail. I don't know, not a voicemail, but like show that there was a call on this day at this time.
But
for
that
this
still
length
doesn't
of time.
Prove.
No, but it gives you some kind of material evidence, physical evidence to be like, there was a conversation had that day with her.
Ubah doesn't deny that.
Okay.
She just doesn't remember Brynn saying that.
Which is insane. You would think you would remember that.
But if you're listing out 10 different things.
Just to go back to the phone thing for a quick second. Yeah. Not to be annoying. If you look at the time duration on the call, you could be like, oh, this is like a 5-second call. It could have just been like, hi, I'll see you over here or whatever.
Yeah.
But if it's like a 10-minute, 20-minute call, you're like, oh, okay, they were talking.
But there's no denial phone call happened.
I know, but like the time could kind of be an indicator
but
for...
Brynn was also saying, my friend just tried to commit suicide. This happened with my... Like, she was listing out everything that was wrong.
Yeah. I'm sure that didn't take only a minute, though, right?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
But
if it took longer than that, then...
Ubah remembers that, and she did call her car.
Oh, so there was a conversation about that, but we don't know if
that Ubah clocked everything she said when she listed out. Do you get it?
Okay, so that changes things for me a little bit, because my understanding initially was that like there wasn't even a call on that day or anything, because like
so this is all off camera.
Yeah, it's just to me like if you say that like I don't know if she clocked it, damn, if you don't know if she clocked it, do you even know if you even said it in the first place? In my mind,
she called her hysterical about like 10 different things.
No, I know.
Yeah. But yeah, so Brynn like won't go to bed. She keeps like trying to check the temperature of the other women, and they're all kind of like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then the next day, Brynn is just acting like nothing happened.
It could be playing devil's advocate, just like what happened the other night was so intense, and not knowing, me saying this, not knowing if she was intentionally doing things versus like just acting out of impulse, you know, just being reactive. If she was acting out of impulse and being reactive, then maybe it was just like, okay, I don't know what to do now, and I just want to pretend like it didn't happen.
Yeah,
and
I think that's for sure what happened.
Yeah, if it was intentional though, if all of this was like
I don't think
a mastermind
it was intentional
thing.
Of Brynn. I think Brynn made a mistake, and I don't think Brynn's a bad person. I really don't.
What about all those flashbacks of her like, misrepresenting people?
She does misrepresent people.
That's why I was saying, I was going to say if it was intentional, then it was like, if I just play this down, maybe everybody would just be like, oh, I guess it wasn't a big deal.
I think she didn't mean to take it as far as she did.
Okay.
That's why I think she like was trying to stir things up. She was trying to make a good show, but and the episode was good.
She's getting a producer credit? Is that what you're saying?
But I don't want to this is dark. Like, I don't want this to be like a trope on the Housewives,
I mean, there's been pretty dark stuff, right?
I know. But yeah, Brynn is acting like nothing happened. Production decides to end the trip early and everyone realizes like Ubah didn't know. Like, all the women are talking like once Brynn left, being like, yeah, Ubah didn't know.
I don't know if anybody knows if Ubah didn't know.
But that's kind of the
they're
side
leaning. Yeah, because there's like I've been saying, there's no like physical thing that people can pull up and be like,
no evidence.
I just want a freaking timestamp with a time duration.
We'll get ready for the reunion, honey.
I know, right? Pull the receipts out.
You're tuning in.
Yeah.
So Brynn's gone, and then Ubah comes back, and she's still extremely emotional. And the other women tell her like they believe her. Ubah asked how Brynn is doing, but Brynn did not ask how Ubah was doing.
Yeah.
And then we see the women getting ready at the opening credits, and there's like obvious tension.
Dude, I had no idea that they did that at the end.
Yeah.
Why in the world would you do that at the end?
I don't know.
Is it the producers saying like, oh, this is going to be a great...
They've never shown this.
But is this like, okay, but I don't know where I could like ask for this, but like, is this a typical thing where they do the recording of the opening sequence? I think
it's different for every because different production companies do Housewives.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe for this one, that's when they do it. Because some shows don't do it every season.
Right. Because that's just diabolical to me, man.
Yeah.
If you knew there was all this drama and then you're just saving the opening, you know, what's it called?
Credits.
Yeah, to be recorded at the end when everyone's at their the peak of their
Yeah. But yeah, so they're at the shoot. Producers are trying to keep Ubah and Brynn apart. Brynn's really emotional and feels like everyone hates her. She's like, everyone else is totally fine. It's just me who's suffering. I'm such a victim here.
Yeah, I mean, they're not really talking to her all that much too after what happened, right? So she feels pretty isolated probably.
Yeah, she probably does feel isolated. But I don't think she's taking enough ownership of what she did. That's why they're not wanting to coexist with her. Because like she didn't really say, hi guys, I took it too far. I'm sorry I put you all through that. She's just like, no one cares about me.
Yeah. It's a mixture of all these like mental states probably for her of like thinking about that conversation that she may or may not have had with Ubah, thinking about being recorded, thinking about she mentioned about like her kids watching this in the future.
Yeah.
Right. All the
so
I feel
she's scared about the image management.
She's in a
scared
spiral,
about
I
how
think.
she's going to be portrayed.
Yeah.
Which is valid.
It's hard to see outside of yourself when you're in that, you know?
Yeah. Any final thoughts on the finale? Tell them what you said to me during it, like in the height of the madness. You paused the show. Guys, Ezra is writing right now. And so like all of his thoughts are like my script.
Yeah, I've just been in that headspace, and I was watching the show, and for like a good minute or two I forgot about it all, you know?
And you were thinking about Brynn.
I was thinking about something and I was just like, oh, this is nice. I can like forget about my problems for a second, or you know, all these things that feel so massive. I just, you know, I'm not thinking about them at all.
Yeah.
And then they come back, of course.
Yeah.
But like for a brief while, I was.
Yeah, it's like
peace.
There was this article a couple months ago, I think it was in the New Yorker, and it was like why smart people love reality TV. And it was kind of like, it really kind of broke it down as like your brain is so busy, so it allows you to take the focus off yourself.
Nice.
In ways that's like your brain doesn't have to work hard to understand it, like in a scripted show where you're like paying attention, and like it's Housewives, they're screaming, you know?
Yeah, and it just feels like you're watching your neighbors go wild. You know?
Ezra, I'm getting some breaking Bravo news.
Bravo news.
Beep, 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 beep. We're interrupting your regularly scheduled recap for this Bravo news.
So there's not a ton of Bravo news because the episodes are so good. But Vanita did this interview. You know Vanita from Southern Charm?
I think
the black girl that, you know, we were watching the episode, and she's going to, right now, her and JT, who's the smallest man who ever lived,
goddamn,
are like kind of flirting, but I guess they get together later on in the season.
Mm-hmm.
And then JT, when the trailer dropped for Southern Charm, he announced his new girlfriend.
Oh.
I guess him and Vanita, she still thought they were together when that happened.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Heartbreak.
I hate him. This isn't a Bravo show, but I think anyone who loves Bravo also loves The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives on Hulu. Season 2 will officially be back in May.
Hey.
Excited for that. And then also, Scheana announced her new memoir.
Hey, Scheana.
I'm excited for her. So now...
Is it good as gold?
No, it's called My Good Side. Because they used to always make fun of her in the early seasons, how she would only take photos from one side of her face.
Hey, she just knows her face.
She knows her face. But I'm excited to read it. Like, I think Scheana, people love to make fun of Scheana.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's something about an underdog story. And I feel like Scheana is like the underdog I love to see win.
Yeah.
Like, I love to see her winning right now with Brock and her kid and doing music again. So
who you only want the best for her.
Yeah, let's talk about Southern hospitality.
Let's do it.
Okay, so it's season 3. I can't believe we're already in season 3. Episode 4, A Lake House Divided.
Damn.
Okay, so everyone is at the lake and picks up on TJ and Joe Bradley's ongoing tension. This has been going all season.
For the beginning of time, it seems like.
Well, they, in all the other seasons, best friends.
I know.
Best friends.
Yeah.
Lake admits she's super into Brad, but he needs to move things forward. But Brad says the ball is in her court.
They are the same person in my mind. They have the same expectations of other people and don't.
Everyone should pursue me and I should pursue no one.
Exactly. Which I mean, I don't know.
I wish I could be like that with men when I was single. I'm just too like straightforward. Like, do you like me or not?
Right. I'm not that way. I'm just like, you have a fun time? Okay, cool. Bye.
Maybe that's why we're a good couple.
Maybe.
I'm the aggressor.
You're the aggressor. Maybe.
I definitely am the aggressor. Emmy sits down with Michaels to talk about her and Will, and she is defensive. She's like, everything is fine. We're fine. I know everything. It's fine.
Glinda.
Yeah, she is Glinda. He's like, Will calls you anorexic. He says you're obsessed with your body. And then Emmy just deflects and she's like, everyone else is the problem. The girls are the problem.
Good Lord. I wish there was some kind of like a wild card that these people could play to like see the edit, like where the edit is. Because it's like.
But even now, as the show's airing, Emmy's like, no, I'm still right.
Jesus.
So she's like delusional. And he's mad Emmy didn't listen to him and just deflected him. Like, you could see it really hurt him.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I thought we were closer. Like, she would listen. But this is what Emmy does every season. Same thing happened last season. Like,
where does this come from is what I wonder, you know?
Low self-esteem. And I think she's like, because her boyfriend is in law school, Will, and she's like obsessed with the idea of being a lawyer's wife. I'm like, lawyers aren't as rich as they used to be, you know?
It must be just the class thing, feeling like legitimized in some kind of way if you don't feel like you have some kind of legitimacy.
And there's something about the southernness of that with the legitimacy, and also just like feeling like you're running out of time. Like, oh, you just have to marry the person you happen to be dating when you're, 30. You know?
Law of the land.
Like, oh, I could never find someone else again at 31.
That's not how life works.
No. Emmy FaceTimes Will, and it feels exhausting.
Incredibly exhausting.
Yeah, and he knows he's wrong, and he's like, you're right, Emmy, it's everyone else is wrong, not me.
What really got to me, though, was their first phone call.
Oh, yeah.
In the bathroom when she was getting prepared. And maybe he's just busy, right? Maybe he's just doing something. He just couldn't say the words, or maybe he didn't hear it. Maybe, I don't know. Just all the benefit of the doubt, right? But it was super awkward for her to be like, okay. After she said, I love you, and he didn't say it back, and just like, oh, I look so great. And just like.
Also, like,
Glinda
she was
mindset.
Like, do I look good? I look so good, right? Do you like my outfit, you know?
Yeah.
Like, when I show you an outfit on that, you're like, hot damn, motherfucker. Like, da-da-da-da-da. Like, I'm not like, sometimes I fish compliments out of you, but that's mostly a joke.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Like 82% of the time.
Yeah.
So then Lake's parents show up at the party, and at first I'm like, oh shit, like this isn't. But basically, it's her parents are divorced, and they're at her mom's house.
Yeah.
And it's her dad who stops by because he has a lake close
Stepmom,
by.
right?
Her dad and stepmom step by, but they're at Lake's mom's house.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
oh
so
yeah, they're a blended family.
They're a blended
I just
family.
remembered. Yeah.
Yeah, which I love how her dad like tried to intimidate the boys, but Brad isn't there, so Joe Bradley like took it, and Joe Bradley was just like confused by it.
Right. He's like, why am I getting interrogated right now? Why?
They all sit down for dinner and they realize the chicken isn't cooked the whole way.
And we all know who suggested how to cook it.
Yep. Joe Bradley. But really it went down to Michael's, because he said they were supposed to bake it, but they were like, we'll just throw it on the grill.
Yeah, he was the one that said throw it on. Yeah, right.
Because at first they blamed Brad because he was the cook.
Okay, it's half and half kind of.
Yeah, it's the boys' fault.
Yeah, just follow the directions, bro.
Yeah,
they were eating. By the time they were eating, it was like it's almost sunset, right?
Yeah, and
like,
it's in the summer, so
bro, just cook it like normal.
Yeah,
but, I'm not a specialist on these matters.
And then Molly goes, I don't mind a little salmonella, but wouldn't that be such a cute name?
That was the moment that I was like, oh, okay, I think she's my favorite character.
No, but you were obsessed with Austin too, because everything with Austin, like him at the beach building the sandcastles.
Oh my God, I love Austin.
They like moved to him at the dinner scene, and Austin is probably my favorite, like standout. He's new on the show, standout star. We love Austin.
The editors are just like doing him a service. At times, I thought they were like just making jokes, but like, nah, dude, this guy is a vibe. Yeah, I am an Austin stan.
Austin stan. For Southern hospitality, not Southern charm.
Yes, let's clarify. Yes. Austin with what's that?
The stash.
Yeah,
he has the mustache.
Don't they both have? Oh no, he was the mullet.
Yeah,
guy, the other one. Okay, yeah. Gotcha.
You're thinking about Kyle from Summer House.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So many people.
All white guys look alike.
They do. TJ and Joe Bradley have a small interaction about Mia's pageant.
Yeah.
And Emmy starts talking about Will, and it starts to feel intense. And Emmy says, it's Will that's the problem. It's not okay. And she defends him. She's like, our relationship is great. He's just sad. When you're sad, you don't tell people I'm anorexic.
Yeah.
Like
I feel bad. I'm going to bag on my girlfriend.
Yeah. And TJ says Will said that Emmy... sugar. But Will said that Emmy's not my person, and Emmy screams at everyone because Will's not there to defend himself, and she storms off, and she goes, talk to me privately about this. But not now. Nobody talk to me.
That was really funny. The pause in between, too. Because people were like preparing to get up. And then
she moved the chair out of the way.
She was bumping into the chair. Just like all this unnecessary kerfuffle.
I know. And Emmy FaceTimes Will again. She's like, everyone's attacking me.
The mascara.
Running down her face. Oh my God. It was giving Cassie in Euphoria. Like,
yeah.
I've never been happier.
I forget what movie it is, but there's like a character that like comes out of the water with like these black streams of whatever all across it. It looked like something out of a movie, Or
it reminds me of like Erica Jane talking about her divorce with just like the
single tail.
Yeah. Maddie runs after Emmy and tries to explain it to her because like Maddie's sober, she's calm, like she's like a girl's girl. She's not really taking in what Maddie's laying down that much.
I don't think either of them are taking in anything, or if they did, they clocked it.
Yeah.
We have evidence of them clocking it.
Yeah.
And then just like changing angles and be like, I don't want to confront this.
Denial.
Everyone's talked to both of you, maybe not in complete privacy, one-on-one kind of a thing, but like two of the guys talking to him.
Yeah.
Or like them talking to her. It's like, this isn't anything new.
No. Again, all my notes are Austin, his mustache. Love Austin. So there must have been some funny shots after.
Just the cut twos to Austin after like all the drama. Like, well, that was a fun day. I'm a little hungry.
Breaks down the weight this all is taking on him as a friend, and like Emmy leaves, like as he says that, which that was like heartbreaking. These Bravo editors, man. Emmy's like, no one is asking me if I'm okay. Cut to everyone asking her if she's okay. Nobody asked me this. Nobody does this for me. Like, they just keep flashing to it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, everyone. So then it's the next day. TJ and Michael slept in a bed together.
And denied it.
No, they denied they hooked up. Didn't deny. So we don't know what happened in the bed.
Come on. I saw it on his face. when he was asked that question, he's like, no. You know?
Everyone is so hungover and they partied hardy.
They did.
Lake says she's enjoying the slow burn with Brad, which I can see. It's all a game to her.
I don't know if he's enjoying it or if either of them are really enjoying it, or they're just saying it so they don't sound like,
yeah, I
don't know, not desperate, but.
And everyone's like, we feel like we're in a weird position because we're friends with Will, we're friends with Emmy, but Will's in the wrong, and like blah blah blah. And so they all go back to Charleston and they're all trying to get a hold of Will. Or they're all trying to get a hold of all of them. And Emmy's mad that so many people reached out to her, and mad nobody reached out to Will, but they're all mad at Will. And they all
already talked to him.
Emmy and Will, though, that whole scene with them after the whole trip was so just like toxic.
Yeah, let's just reaffirm each of ours
point of view. Let's not like break it down.
This has nothing to do with either of us, because if it does, then what does that mean for us, right? It's like, you know, they
can't really self-evaluate their relationship in that way.
Yeah.
And Will feels extremely betrayed by everyone, but especially the men.
And they said he'll probably feel a bit betrayed, and it's like, well, dude, if you've been given all these opportunities to be like, yeah, man, I probably shouldn't have said that about her. Yeah. You know, all these, and you don't. Okay, it's on you now, man. Yeah. Just live with it.
So then we see Joe and Maddie at home. One, obsessed with them as a couple, like truly rooting for them.
Yeah.
I really like Joe and Maddie as a couple.
Me too. They seem pretty happy.
And they're like best friends to lovers. Like, that was a slow burn.
The music, and what was it when she asked him if he wanted to learn or something like that, right?
Had a DJ.
Yeah, and her, like, it was just it was very cute.
Very cute.
Yeah.
And like Joe got a concussion, and like she was so emotional about something like it was like, I know it's sad him getting a concussion, but then Joe goes to her, he's like, can you text TJ for me since I'm blocked? It's time to make up. And so then they do meet up.
Yeah.
So, and I love TJ ordering Joe's drink for him before he shows up. Although since he's concussed, I'm like, you probably shouldn't be drinking.
Or sleeping that night, going straight to bed. Like, bruh.
Yeah.
No.
But then they talk about like their close friendship and how they like don't really know how to navigate their falling out because they were like so incredibly close.
Yeah. They were working on it though. At the trip, right? Like
they talked once.
Yeah, right, about the food.
But they still haven't talked about like what happened in their friendship, and I think that's like what they don't really know how to navigate and figure out. TJ apologizes for like outing him about the Luann thing.
Yeah.
And Joe apologized for the mean messages, but he was like, I was blocked for months, so I couldn't really make up. And TJ's like, yeah, I wanted you to feel like you said I was dead, so I want you to feel like I was dead. So it was super spiteful.
At least it was not a moment to pretend like it didn't happen or that you didn't choose to do something, right? They're being forthright about it.
TJ then, it kind of ends on a cliffhanger. The downfall was Joe touching him in bed and TJ telling people. Joe said it was nothing, and TJ said it might have been nothing to you.
Y'all should have had.
And we ended there.
Y'all should have had a conversation. So that's where it. Yeah,
that's the core of the issues, is like lack of bad communication in friendships with both episodes.
Yeah, maybe it comes from fear or whatnot, but damn, if y'all just talked about this stuff.
Just talk about things.
And like admit stuff, you know?
Yeah. Well,
it's on them.
This was a great episode of both Southern Hospitality, RHONY, and Real Housecast.
Yeah.
You can find Housecast on any social media.
It sounded so weird, didn't it?
Yeah. Your voice cracked. But we're on social media. We're going to be going on more platforms and doing more fun stuff this year. We have so much planned. And Ezra is a very talented filmmaker. If you like stuff that's not like Bravo, check out his work, because it's dark and twisted and really well done. And yeah, we'll be back next week with book club with Grammy. We are doing Andy Cohen's first book, Most Talkative.
Grammy's coming back.
I know we were supposed to do in December, but Grammy got COVID. Then our city decided to burn, so We're doing it next. We're doing it.
Yeah. And we got some rain today if we didn't mention it already.
It's raining in LA and I like it that way.
Yes. Only thinking about the good it'll do and not the not so good stuff it'll do.
Yeah. All right. We love you all.
Bye.